So here's something wild about the Bay Area market right now. You can pay $2 million for a brand new home in Dublin, or you can pay $2 million for a 1955 ranch in Fremont. Same price range, completely different purchase. And nobody's really talking about why. Hey, I'm Sanna, Bay Area Realtor working across San Mateo, Alameda, San Mateo, and San Francisco counties. I have walked through hundreds of homes at this point, old ones, new ones, and everything in between. And I have started noticing something. The stuff buyers focus on at open houses is usually the quartz countertops, the smart home features, the staging. That almost never the stuff that actually matters once you own the home. The stuff that matters is mostly hidden behind the walls, under the floors, in the crawl space, in the attic. So in this video, I want to walk you through what I have learned about old versus new construction in the Bay Area. Not to tell you one is better, both can be right answer for the right person. But by the end of this video, you will know what to actually look at when you walk into an open house. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the wood, the actual framing lumber the house is built with. I know that sounds boring, but stick with me because this is the thing inspectors keep telling me matters more than anything else. So before 1950, most Bay Area homes were built with what's called old growth Douglas fir. These were trees that took 150 to 200, sometimes 250 years to grow before they got cut down. And because they grew so slowly, the wood is really dense, really strong, really good at handling moisture and pests. You literally cannot buy this wood anymore. The forests that produced it are gone. So when you walk into a 1920s Victorian in Noe Valley or in San Jose downtown, the actual lumber holding the house up, modern construction cannot replicate it at any price. And that's not nostalgia, that's just biology. Every Bay Area homeowner eventually deals with termites. It's just a thing. And from what inspectors have told me, the same density that makes old growth Douglas fir strong also make it really hard for termites to chew on. Modern construction wood, the stuff harvested at 20 or 30 years, is much softer. Termites grow through it way faster. So, same infestation, same termite damage, old growth home, way less destruction. Just because the wood is denser. So what do builders use today? A lot of what's called engineered lumber, I-joists, LVL beams, OSB sheathing. The way it was explained to me, engineered lumber is basically wood scraps glued together. The glue is what's holding it together. So here's the problem. Old growth wood can get wet and dry out, get wet and dry out for hundreds of years. No problem. But engineered lumber, if it stays wet, the glue breaks down. And once that happens, you have a structural problem. I have walked through Bay Area homes less than 15-year-old where one slow plumbing drip in the crawl space turned into tens of thousands of dollars of repair work because the engineered joist couldn't handle the moisture. That's the part nobody's putting in the listing photos. Okay, so this connects to the next thing I want to talk about. Modern Bay Area homes are sealed up really tight, like wrapped in a plastic seal with foam tight. That's because California has the strictest energy code in the country. It is called Title 24. New construction has to hit pretty serious energy efficiency targets, and that is a good thing. Lower utility bills, more comfortable temperatures, all of that. But here's the trade-off nobody mentions. If water gets into a sealed house, it has nowhere to go. Think about an older home. Drafty windows, air leaking under the doors. We always think of it as downside, right? Well, those drafts were actually trying out little moisture problems before they became big ones. The materials in those old homes, the wood, the plaster, they handled humidity fine. Now take a brand new home. Sealed plastic envelope, engineered wood that can't get wet. One small leak, a failed window seal, a tiny roof issue, a slow drip from a pipe, and that water just sits there in the wall, soaking into the stuff that wasn't designed to get wet. And in the Bay Area specifically, we are not exactly dry. Marine layer half the year, morning fog, that moist coastal year. We have basically the worst possible climate for sealed house approach. The older homes weren't designed for our climate on purpose, they just happen to be tolerant of it. So I've got you wondering where your dream home falls in all of this. Let me walk you through different eras of Bay Area construction because this really does change what you're looking at. Pre-1940 homes. Victorians in San Francisco, the Castro, Noe Valley, Mission, Bernal, Craftsman bungalows in Willow Glen. These have the best structural bones in our market. The catch is the systems, the wiring, the plumbing, sometimes the foundation. All of this usually need complete updating. So the dream is a pre-1940 home where someone already did that work. The danger is pre-1940 home that looks updated but actually isn't. More on that in a minute. Now we are moving on to 1940s to 1965, the post-war era. This is your Eichlers in Palo Alto, your tract ranches in Fremont, Sunnyvale, and all over the South Bay. Still really good wood. The materials transitioned a bit, plywood instead of plank. Copper plumbing started to replace galvanized. Honestly, when these are well maintained with updated system, they are some of the best purchases in our market. Moving on from 1965 to 2005. Now, this is the transition era. Some of these homes have aluminum wiring from late 1960s, early 70s, which inspector will flag as a fire risk. The materials start getting more engineered and less natural. These homes need the most careful inspection because they're offered in this weird middle zone. Old enough to have outdated systems and new enough to have engineered materials. 2005 to now, this is the Title 24 era. The tightest energy code, most engineered material, highest price per square foot. This is the era where everything I just said about airtight trap applies. And this is important. These homes also have some real advantages that I'll get to in a minute. So speaking of new construction, there are 3 Bay Area specific things you should know that usually don't come up at the open houses. First is a slab plumbing thing. A lot of new tract homes in Dublin, Milpitas, newer parts of San Jose, they are built on concrete slabs and the plumbing is embedded inside concrete. Now, in an older home, your pipes are usually behind drywall. Something fails, you cut open the drywall, fix it, patch it, and you're done. In a slab home, a plumbing failure means jackhammering through your floor. A $50 part can turn into a $15,000 repair just because of how it's installed. The second part to it is Cripple wall retrofits. This applies to older homes, especially pre-1960s. A cripple wall is a short wood framed wall between the foundation and the first floor. The problem is that if those walls aren't braced, they can collapse sideways in an earthquake. That's actually what happened to a lot of homes in Marina district during the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. The good news is this is totally fixable. San Francisco and Oakland both have retrofit programs. Costs usually $3,000 to $8,000 to get it done. And here is something I tell every one of my buyers. When you're looking at any pre-1960 Bay Area homes, just ask the listing agent. Has the cripple wall retrofit been completed? Do you have documentation? Was it done per permits? That one question tells you so much about whether the seller actually understands the home they're selling. Okay, the third category is the wildfire stuff. Newer homes in wildfire zones, the Oakland Hills, Berkeley foothills, they are built to current fire codes. Fire-resistant siding, multi-pane windows, the right kind of fence. Older homes in those same areas, they might have original wood siding from 1955 that doesn't meet current standards. And in 2026, with the insurance crisis being what it is, an older home in wildfire zone might literally not qualify for a standard homeowner's insurance. So for hillside buyers, specifically, new construction has real advantage there. Now moving on to the flips. You've probably noticed a lot of Bay Area homes hit the market looking really polished. fresh paint, new floors, updated kitchen, and the whole thing. And sometimes that's a genuine renovation. But sometimes it's just a flip. Someone bought it cheap, made it look amazing in 60 days, and it's reselling for 200 or maybe 500 grand more. See, the flip economics in our market are really aggressive. So I want to flag the two flip patterns that I have seen do real structural damage. First one is spray foam in old walls. Sometimes flippers will inject spray foam insulation into the walls of an older home as energy upgrade. Sounds great, right? Problem is that older homes were designed to breathe. The siding, the framing, it lets moisture escape. Spray foam traps the moisture against the wood, and then the siding starts rotting out from inside out. You can't see it. You won't see it for years, but it's happening. The other one would be cheap replacement windows. A Victorian or a Craftsman has these specific window openings that were designed for specific kind of windows with specific trims that manages water runoff. When a flipper rips those out and puts in cheap vinyl windows without doing the flashing properly, water gets into the wall every time it rains. The original window, maintained, would have been fine. The flip job creates a slow leak you don't even know about. Okay, so how do you spot a flip? Honestly, just trust your gut. If the inside looks way newer than the age of the home suggests, ask, what work was done in the last 5 years? Were the permits pulled? If they can't show you permits for major structural work, treat that as a warning sign. A real thought through renovation which involves structural work always has a paperwork. Okay, so I have spent a lot of this video talking about the issues with new construction. But I want to be really fair here because new construction has some real advantages that I think buyers underrate. The most important one is earthquake engineering. New homes in the Bay Area are designed for a specific seismic environment using engineering software and standards that did not exist when older homes were built. So if you're buying in a high seismic zone and older home you're looking at hasn't been retrofitted, the new construction has real safety advantage. The other one would be wildfire resistance, which I covered already. Now let's talk about the acoustic privacy. This one's huge, and I don't think enough people talk about it. The Bay Area in 2026 is full of households with two people working from home, often on calls at the same time. Modern new construction, especially the townhomes in Dublin, Milpitas, newer San Jose, is built with walls specifically designed to block sounds between rooms. Older ranch homes, pretty much regular drywall with no sound insulation. So if you and your partner are both on Zoom calls all day, the new construction is going to be significantly more livable. A lot of older Bay Area homes have layouts that are hard to adapt as people get older. Narrow hallways, multiple levels, bathrooms that cannot be reconfigured. New construction floor plans are often designed with accessibility built in. When you buy new, everything is new at the same time. Roof, furnace, AC, water heater, all on the same clock. That gives you a predictable maintenance picture for years, 1 through about 7. After that, you'll see things start to age, but year 1 through 7 is genuinely low maintenance. So new construction isn't the worst purchase. It is just a different purchase, knowing what you're optimizing for. So putting all of this together, whether you're looking at a 1928 Victorian or a 2022 new build, here are the 6 questions I think every buyer should ask. 1. Did the inspector physically crawl through the crawl space? Not looking from the hatch, actually crawl through. So much hides down there. 2. What's the wood underneath? Old growth plywood, OSB, engineered I-joist. This matters most in homes built after mid-1980s. 3. What's the plumbing? Is it copper, PEX, galvanized? Any PEX inside a concrete slab? Check that. Now, 4th is for any pre-1960 home. Has the cripple wall or the crawl space been retrofitted? Get the documentation. 5. What's the acoustic installation between rooms, especially if you work from home? 6. And this is a newer one. Is the home ADU ready? A lot of new Bay Area developments are now offering floor plans where there's either a junior ADU built in or the plumbing and electrical are already set up for adding one later. In our market, a pre-permitted rental unit can offset a huge chunk of your mortgage. Or it's just the in-law suite for your parents. Or it's the space your kid lives in after college because nobody can afford rent. Whatever you use it for, an ADU-ready floor plan gives you the flexibility, and the builders offering it understand the Bay Area market they are selling to. So look, the Bay Area is one of the most expensive housing market in the world. At 1.5 million to 2.5 million for a single family home, you deserve the complete picture before you make an offer. So here's a real question I want to leave you with. Not the inspector question, the actual question that should determine what you buy. On a Saturday morning, before the work week starts, what do you want? Do you want to feel the history of materials around you? The plaster walls that have absorbed decades of Bay Area fog? The kind of bones a modern builder literally cannot replicate? Or do you want the peace of mind of a builder warranty? Soundproof walls between you and your partner's Zoom calls, and the certainty that everything in the house started its clock on the same day. And both are completely legitimate answers. The mistake is not knowing which one you are before you walk into an open house. Because if you don't know, the quartz countertops will decide for you. If you want to talk through any of this for a specific home you're looking at, just book a free 30-minute call with me. Link is in the description. No commitment. We'll just talk through what you're actually looking at. If you feel the information I've shared in this video can be helpful to somebody in your circle who's looking to buy, please share the video with them. And I'll see you in the next one.